Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Raila Odinga arrived to the country from Ethiopia after the AUC lot, and there was a lot of anxiety in the country, with the country waiting for Raila to give direction. Because Raila arrived into the country against a backdrop of many things. One, there was serious division within the ODM party. There is a wing that is headed by Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, James Orengo, or the Siaya Governor, and the ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, among other legislators like the supporting MP Caleb Ambisi, who are saying that this government is rotten and Raila should not even imagine supporting William Ruto. And they are citing things like failed policies like the SHA that is in trouble, the new university funding model that is still in court. They're saying that the cost of living is too high, and they're saying that there are a lot of abductions and extrajudicial killings. And with that, they're saying Raila will tarnish his legacy if at all he joins William Ruto. But there is another camp led by Nyawangaya, the governor of Homa Bay, Gladys Wanga, who is also the party chair. People like Opondo Kaluma, people like Robert Alai, who believe that this is the time for Raila Odinga to retire from politics, hand over his support base to William Ruto ahead of 2027. So Raila came back when the party is in confusion and the supporters are wondering which way. Now his arrival also came at a time when the opposition that now seems to be rallying behind Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Eugene Wamalwa, George Natembeya, and all those leaders who are ganging up against William Ruto are calling upon Raila Odinga to show them whether he is in the government or is in the opposition. In fact, Rigathi Gachagua is on record as saying that Raila has got enough votes, about 6.8 million, and as the Mount Kenya fraternity, they also have about 6 million votes, and therefore he says Raila should come so that he gives Raila that opportunity to become the president, because he's saying this time round they are ready because they have a common enemy. They are sick and tired of William Ruto. So Raila is between a rock and a hard place, because at the same time, the government is busy announcing that they are in bed with the opposition and they are working together. They are busy praising Raila and telling him that he's a statesman. So all these are happening. But Raila Odinga told the nation that in light of the very weighty issues before him, that is a decision that he cannot unilaterally make. And therefore, he's going around the country to find out the views of the people. Now, the first meeting that was going to unite all the leaders, those who have been speaking for the government and against the government, was going to be today in Busia. ODM is celebrating its birthday. ODM at 20 years since it was since its inception, and they were going to meet in Busia. They explained that Busia has the highest number of ODM registered voters, and they wanted to celebrate them for the high number of voter registration. So they were there. There are those who have been calling upon the resignation or ouster of Edwin Sifuna, saying that he's going against Raila Odinga. So when people arrived in Busia, people were really waiting. Is Raila going to embrace Edwin Sifuna? Is he going to be given any role, because he's still the Secretary General? Now people were shocked that Edwin Sifuna was in charge as the Secretary General. They were together with the other dissenting viewers there.
Baba, mimi nitakuwa mfupi sana. Kwanza kabisa tuseme asante sana kwa wale wa makao makuu ambao wameandaa hii hafla. Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, mwaka wa 2005 wakati mnazindua hiki chama cha ODM, I was a university student at the University of Nairobi. Sisi baba ndio wale tulikuwa tunaimba pale Uhuru Park mwaka wa 2002 tukisema yote yawezekana bila Moi. Baba, sisi ndio wale ambao tulipewa kura ya kadi ya kupiga kura mara ya kwanza mwaka wa 2002. Na wakati ule ulikuja pale Uhuru Park ukatuambia Kibaki tosha, na sisi sote tukatii, tukafuata mwito wako, tukapigia Kibaki kura. Kufikia mwaka wa 2005 Wakati tunaenda referendum ya 2005 baba, sisi ndio vijana tulikuwa tunaimba tunasema katiba aliyotuahidi Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga sio ile ambayo Kibaki alikuwa ametuambia, na tukaangusha hiyo katiba ya Kibaki. Najivunia sana kwamba miaka 20 baadaye mimi ndio katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM, chama ambacho mmekikuza kwa damu, kwa jasho na kwa matabu mengi sana. Baba, ombi langu ni kwamba wengine ambao wako nyuma yetu kama hawa ndugu zetu kina Kasmuel watasimama hapa Busia miaka 20 kutoka leo wakisema kwamba chama cha ODM kinaendelea, na hiyo ndio kitu tunajivunia, si ni kweli? Mheshimiwa Raila, mimi kama katibu wako, ukiangalia sajili ya vyama, msajili wa vyama alichapisha vyama zaidi ya 100 vimesajiliwa Kenya hii, lakini baada ya yeye kufanya audit ya vyama, chama kimoja pekee ndio kinasimama na sheria na ni chama cha ODM. Hawa ndugu zetu wanasema wanakuamini baba Raila Amolo Odinga kwamba uamuzi ambao utachukua kwa ajili ya mustakabali wa chama hiki utakuwa ni uamuzi ambao utakuwa in the best interest of the Orange Democratic Movement and in the best interest of the people of Kenya.
So Raila allowed Edwin Sifuna. There was unity. You could not even imagine that this is a party that has been blowing hot and cold. So the presence of Edwin Sifuna speaks volumes. It could only mean that whatever Sifuna is saying resonates the views of Raila Amolo Odinga. As we've always known, Raila has one of his foot in the government, the other is in the opposition. Then Edwin Sifuna, as you have heard there, was pleading with Raila. He reminded of Raila and the supporters of ODM where they have come from. And he was telling him, I'm proud to be the Secretary General 20 years down the line. When it was started, I was still in the university. He was trying to remind those who want him to be ousted that he has come a long way. He has even reached the hallmark of his political career and is even moving further. But the gist of the moment, the climax of the moment was when Raila stood to speak, because Raila knew very well. And Baba said what we expected. He said, I'm still consulting and I will come back to give you the truth. But there is one other thing that he said that could be a coded message to William Samoei Ruto. Baba is saying, hatutafuata watu ovyo ovyo. We will not just follow people for the sake of it. We have to know what they stand for. Because they have reminded people that ODM stands for the truth, democracy. ODM fought for the constitution in this country, and Raila has continued to remind people that they even lost one of his friends, Odinga, who was a university don, because of his stand on devolution. So Raila says we have to try and evaluate the policies that other parties and people stand for before we follow them.
Kofia juu ya hewa tafadhali, tukimkaribisha baba Raila Amolo Odinga.
Haya. Busia hoye! Busia hoye! Magharibi hoye! Wamama hoye! Vijana hoye! Asanteni sana wana wa magharibi. Wana wa magharibi mirembe. Leo ni hafla ya leo, sio? Leo ni asemia kesho ni. Sasa mimi nimerudi. Sasa leo tunasherehekea miaka 20 ya chama chetu cha ODM. Sasa tumesema siku ya leo tukisherehekea baba amerudi, na nimesema nitakuja kuuliza watu wangu wote kwanza mwelekeo. Tujue mwelekeo, sio? Sisi si watu wa kufuata watu hovyo hovyo. Tunafuata watu na sababu. Chama cha ODM ni chama ambayo iko na sera kamili na msimamo. Na vile vile sisi tumekuwa tukitetea haki ya wananchi wa Kenya, na tutaendelea kutetea haki ya wananchi wa Kenya. Sio ile katiba tulileta ya chungwa ndio ilileta ugatuzi katika taifa letu. Ugatuzi tumeleta, lakini haifanyi kazi sawa sawa, kwa sababu pesa haijatolewa Nairobi kuja hapa chini. Pesa inakaa mingi kule Nairobi. Tunataka kuona kama pesa inatoka Nairobi ya kutosha na inatumia vizuri hapa katika serikali ya counties. Sawa sawa. Tunataka kuimarisha pesa ya matibabu itoke Nairobi irudi wapi? Pesa ya barabara itoke Nairobi irudi wapi? Chini, sio? Sivyo? Hello? Tunataka kuona mambo ya ufisadi. Wangapi nasema baba aendelee kushauriana na watu kwanza? Wangapi nasema nipate maoni, sivyo? Tutashauriana na nataka kuhakikisha nyinyi kwamba tutachukua msimamo ambaye italenga matakwa na haki ya Wakenya wote. Hiyo ndio tutafanya. Hakuna nyokonyoko. Sawa sawa. Vijana hoi! Vijana hoi! Asanteni sana, Mungu wabariki.
Now if you listen very carefully to Raila Odinga, as I've said, we could easily see the vector, where the vector is pointing at. Now, if you've listened to my analysis before, I have always predicted that Raila will give us a declaration that is a two double-edged sword. Just like now he's got one foot in the government and the other in the opposition, I have a feeling that that is the kind of declaration that is going to give us. Because if you listen to him, he's telling us, we fought for the new constitution. We want, because the division is not working, because there is no money, we want money to be given to the county government so that it works. Already, Raila is giving conditions. And I have a feeling that after getting all the views of the supporters, that is what is going to be the basis of his declaration. Remember, even as he goes around, when he was in Mombasa State House with William Ruto, immediately he flew into the country. We saw some two documents that are believed to be an MOU in consideration between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. The presence of lawyer Paul Mwangi, who has been Raila's lawyers for long, and Kithure Kindiki, who has been Ruto's lawyer for long, could only corroborate that there is a document that they are working on. So Raila is between a rock and a very hard place. At one point, Ruto is busy piling pressure. Support me. This is what I will give you. And Ruto is citing that I've given you a minister of finance, something that has never been in Luoland, the Attorney General. They have even divided the parliamentary committees that were headed and chaired by Rigath's close allies. Even as we speak, the list of principal secretaries, I understand, is ready, and Raila is about to reap big. So at one point, he has to consider that. Because as a result of the broad-based government, some people tell me that there are a lot of development going on in Nyanza. Well, that could be good, but I want a country where you don't have to be given development because you are in government. Everyone is a taxpayer. I would love to be in a situation where after election, whether you support the one who finally wins or not, he automatically becomes the president of the country and works for the people. So Raila Odinga is not about to condemn William Ruto any soon. At the same time, if you listen to the mood on the ground, people don't want William Samoei Ruto. They feel the government has messed. They feel the policies are not working. They feel this government does not care about its people. The government does not listen to her people. So Raila must navigate and try to get a balance in between. And what I'm thinking is very simple. Raila, because of the working relationship that there's a working formula that they already have, he will tell them that we will support William Ruto to finish his term, but with a lot of conditions. And I've always mentioned that the conditions will be stop abductions, stop the university funding model and get us back to the older one. He's going to talk about SHA. He's going to say that, we need more money to the country level. He's going to give a lot of conditions. At the same time, he will say that ODM is not joining, William Ruto's party. We have to strengthen our party. And they might even say that we'll produce a presidential candidate. He will say something that is pro-government and is pro-people at the same time. That's what I think he will be saying. But the moment he has said that we will not follow people blindly, that message is really not a very palatable one to William Samoei Ruto. Not unless these are just gimmicks and politics to please the supporters, because Raila understands that there is something that the supporters want to understand. So even as we wait for consultation, we can already see the vector. I could be wrong, but the predictive analysis that I have is Raila is going to support William Ruto, but with conditions. He's going to urge the people to strengthen the party. Because if there is one thing that I believe Raila cannot do, Raila cannot join UDA the way he joined KANU. So, as usual, he's going to keep the country guessing and waiting. During this moment when the country is gaining, they are going to study the document that they have. They are going to listen to people. But finally, he has to make a decision that will unite the party, because the ODM is already divided. Supporters are already divided. So he has to accommodate all of them and also accommodate his people who are in government. I don't know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, but that statement is one that people will be speaking about even as we wait for Raila Odinga.